Welcome to another car video. I've got Jacy again. I'm making the most out of you before you have to leave for uni. And a little bit of a disclaimer, I've just come back from a festival, so ignore the ill voice. I am ill. Got our Starbucks as well today.
Even though mine.
Yeah, what did you get? Chai.
Iced chai with oat milk.
I just got hot chocolate, but I have a bone to pick.
Oh.
They don't have marshmallows.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything deep.
No, this girl complains about it every time, and she knows. Like she knows. Like she's known this so long. And like she's always like, "Oh, I'll bring my own."
I need to bring my own. Like I'm gonna have a stash in my car. I'll put it in there. Today we're gonna be talking about kind of, I guess the title is how we learn to kind of love ourselves and put ourselves first before anyone else. Under that kind of comes like how validation is so unnecessary, like from external sources, how to find it like within. But yeah, kind of just not seeking outside validation, loving yourself and trying to be alone no matter how scary it is and how important it is. I think I was gonna just start this with saying kind of with me, like my little journey of how I've learned to love myself. I was just saying before that I don't think I ever hated myself. Like I've been quite lucky, like I've never hated my looks, so I obviously all got insecurities, but I think my biggest thing was like back in the day I used to like hate my personality. Like I never was content with being alone, and like, but I think that was because my personality back then wasn't me.
Yeah, you didn't know yourself.
It's like now I have got my personality, I don't hate it. So it's like, did I actually ever hate myself?
Yeah.
No. It was like a version of me that was basically trying to impress others. Like the personality I had was literally taken from like 6 different friends.
Yeah.
And just like put into one. Like trying to get the approval from each friend by like incorporating a bit of their personality into mine. And then the day I said no and just did me is the day that I was like, oh, I actually really like me. Like I'm a bit of a catch. Like, you know, not being too cocky with it, but being like, no, like I do, as of today I'm very much like happy and content with how far I've come, who I am and me, and then that's helped me know what to expect from others, I think. Yeah. And that's the core. Once you know how to love yourself and find yourself, you know then what to bring into your life. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm still going through it. Like I feel like I'm kind of like fresh to it, but I feel like I've always known who like I was, but I don't think I felt like I could be myself around certain people. Like I always wanted to try and please everyone and try and be a friend to everyone. And like I was quite good at like just putting up with it and like changing myself just to get along with people. And like the second I stopped doing that, which is like kind of now, I feel like a lot of people kind of have a problem with it. Yeah. But at this point, like I'd rather just lose people that I can't be myself around than just lose myself. So I'm kind of like in that phase right now, which is like kind of new for me. Yeah. And it's kind of difficult, but at the same time I feel like it's more important to be around people that actually like you rather than a fake version of you,
like a mask,
because then they're real friends. Exactly. And then they're true friends, and it's okay if people don't like the real me, because I'm not perfect, and I've kind of accepted that. Like I cannot physically please everyone. I can do that and be unhappy with myself, or I can be myself and just have, you know, less people that maybe like me or enjoy my presence, but at least I am who I am, and I've got true real friends that like me. Yeah. So I feel that's kind of where I'm like at. Quality over
quantity. Because it's true, like I feel like I think this is the biggest thing I've learned this year. So like I think the first part of loving myself was like never really hated myself, but it was more about finding out who Maisie was. Yeah. So find out who you are first, like what is your hobbies, your music taste, your favourite things to do. Yeah. Then you'll start to learn to love that. The second part of my journey is probably this year of like I kind of latched on to like my friends, family, people around me for like that approval or like validation or like feeling like I'm worth something. And the people that I thought like were solid and I relied on or depended on, I guess is a better word, then I lost, and I'm still here and I'm still surviving. Yeah, exactly. So it's like you're born into this world alone, you're gonna die alone. Yeah. And my biggest piece of advice after this year is like, would you be happy if you just got like left on a desert island tomorrow with no one and nothing? Like would you be happy in your own company, or does that scare you? And I feel like that's the point I've been at this year, is like really appreciating my own company and my alone time, and I actually enjoy it. If anything, I prefer it now, and that's something I'm trying to learn the balance of, if that makes sense.
It's kind of hard because sometimes you're so far from yourself that you don't even realise when you're not being yourself. But I feel like there's certain times that everyone's like come back from like a day with certain people, and they just like come home and they're just so drained. Their face is drained from like pretending to be laughing at jokes that you wouldn't really find funny. Like, you just don't feel comfortable.
You're not being yourself at all. Like,
and it's so draining. Like, you just feel like you've been put on the front. And I feel like everyone knows when they're doing that. And I know it's so stupid and everyone says it, but like, be yourself and find out who really likes you. Because it's not really a compliment if everybody likes you when you're not yourself, because it's not a compliment to yourself because you're not yourself.
Not everyone's for you either. You don't want everyone, like, you should kind of view yourself as like, your energy is very valuable. You don't want to share that with every other person. Like, it's like like when I meet new people, I find myself a lot more quiet because I'm not ready to share all of my great traits with people, because they have to prove that they're worthy and that they align with me first. Because the worst thing to do is sit in a room where like it's full of people that are speaking about topics and things that you just don't relate to or agree, and you're just like, where am I? So don't allow yourself to, just for the sake of approval and validation and to be liked, sit at the wrong table type thing.
Exactly.
I just feel like the biggest thing I've learned is I don't need to impress anyone anymore. Like, I am who I am type thing, and the right people will come to me and align with me. And I think you can't even get to that stage without knowing who you are first type thing. Like, I talk about it to my friends all the time, like, you don't need to please everyone, like, don't try and impress XYZ. But it's like, if they don't even know who they are, they don't even know how to set that sort of boundary of like, well, who does align with me, because they don't even know themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So it's like, what is seriously, what is the, like, I even think about this with like socials and everything, which is literally why I just want to get rid, because I just want to get rid of that need for any validation. Like, I just always say to people, if you post this and it got 0 likes, would it matter? Like, it shouldn't, because if you like it, then you like it, you know what I mean? But I feel like a lot of it, like, validation comes from so many different things that we don't even realise. Like, I feel like we grew up in such an age where, like, you know, social media, like, likes and like who cares what random people think?
Like, it doesn't define your worth at all. Like, my favourite thing at the moment is the quote from Barbie of like, Ken only has a good day if Barbie says hi to him. I mean, it's so sad, and it's true. Like, the amount of, you know, boys say that will only feel worthy if the girl they like gives them some attention, or vice versa, the boys they like give them attention, the girl attention. And I just think, like, you can't live your life kind of feeding off the idea that someone else is going to even look in your direction, because I think it sets you up for disappointment. I think if you're constantly relying on validation from maybe not just a romantic level, but from your friends, from your family, like, you're most likely going to be let down, because everyone has busy lives, people don't align with you, people don't like you, it is what it is. But if you're needing that, like, as a craving to feel good about yourself, it's going to be a very hard life. Whereas if you can find it within, then it's a bonus when these people come to you and they do say hi to you and you like them, or like your friends do check up on you or whatever it is, but it's not needed or necessary.
Like, when I think of confidence, I like truly don't think that there should be anything that gives you like confidence except from yourself. And I know it sounds silly, but it's like, if someone's giving you that confidence, or many people, when it comes to like social and stuff, then is it real? Because what happens when they stop calling you beautiful? Would you still feel beautiful? No, because you never had that confidence for yourself. Like, nothing can give you confidence. I really believe that people cannot give you confidence. Others cannot give confidence. Confidence exists within. You should appreciate compliments and stuff like that, but I don't think they should give you your confidence. I think you should have it. And if people compliment you and stuff, that should be just, you know, thank you, I really appreciate that. Not, wow, I must truly be pretty then.
Yeah, like, oh, I believe you now.
Yeah, like, you should have already felt that.
I think as well, like, if you're relying on other people to give you compliments, validation, whatever, those are the same people that can take it away from you like that.
That's what I'm saying, which is not confidence. Like, confidence should be it should be like, I'm trying to think of the word, it shouldn't be dependent on anything other than yourself within,
because otherwise it's temporary.
It's not real. It's
Yeah.
just not real. Like it's just based on what other people think. So it's like you said, it can come as soon as it goes if you're given the power of confidence of people around you.
Yeah.
You should like that photo of yourself if no one else tells you you're beautiful. If you felt beautiful, then fine.
It is sad, like, living in this generation of social media. Like, people really like overthink what to post, what to say,
how many
to
likes,
act.
how many followers.
Yeah, and I just think, like, I don't know, even me, like, with my Instagram, I'm trying to make it more, like, spam-like, you know what I mean? Because it's just photos of my summer that I just love.
Yeah.
Or, like, me smiling more, like, I'm genuinely, like, happy in photos. Like, I don't need to be like, oh, my teeth look funny, or this. Like, just post because you enjoy it and you're happy, and I'm not trying to impress anyone. And even if you are, like, then if you get rejected or whatever, it shouldn't affect you, because you know exactly who you are and what type of people you want.
Yeah.
And if you put yourself out there, great, but then if nothing comes back, then that should not rock you too hard, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. I just think never give someone the power to give you confidence,
Yes.
because they have the power to take it away.
The main thing is, like, and something I definitely am guilty of, I'm still learning this whole process, but back in the day, especially when I didn't really know myself, like, the way I would center my life around certain people or things, like, expecting that to give me some sort of satisfaction.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is something people need to kill.
Yes.
Like, stop centering your life around certain hobbies, events, people, even like drinking and drugs and everything. Like, if you personally don't, you wouldn't do it if you were alone, like, or like you personally wouldn't choose to put yourself out there and do stuff like this, or a certain hobby or whatever it is, don't do it. It doesn't, like, just because other people are there, again, it's this idea of, like, you want approval, so you're going to join in on certain things, and that, again, is only going to give you that temporary bit of approval, but is actually benefiting you in the long run.
You might have more people around you, but you're, again, less yourself, so what's it worth?
Yeah.
They're not real true friends. They're friends of the mask you're wearing, you know what I mean? They're
like, for the sake
it's like
of
being
others.
friends of, like, the TV character of a show, but they're not actually friends of the person that plays the actor. Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
It's the character.
It's
like,
fake.
like it's not. It doesn't make sense. Like, they're friends with someone else. They're not friends with you. They're friends with this person you've created.
Yeah. So you do start to find yourself, and then, like, these people start to notice that, like, this is not the person I knew, like, a year ago.
Yeah, which is sad.
They might start to drop off, and you need to be okay with that, if that makes sense. Like, you need to understand that once you do find yourself and you start bringing that version out, there's going to be some people that leave your life because they liked the fake version of you. But do not lie to yourself and try and keep up this fake version just to keep these people around.
Yeah.
Or to be able to not have FOMO, to get invited to certain things and do certain things. Like, I promise you, like, you're only going to chase this cycle of approval and not actually liking yourself within. So you've got to stop faking it and, like, go back to, like, what I was gonna say is, like, inner child.
That's what I say,
like,
all the time.
I think that whenever I go back to, like, inner child activities, that's where I'm reminded of, like, myself the most. And I think the biggest thing I've learned, like, especially with how to love yourself, is basically, like, this, like, image activity that I learned in therapy of, like, picturing yourself as a child and you as this, like, nurturing person, as, like, a dad or a mum, and you're trying to, like, protect this child and give them advice and stuff, because that's the only way that you can separate yourself as, like, a third person entity, and just, like, viewing yourself and looking after yourself. Because most of the time, I think this is one thing we haven't really spoke about, is, okay, well, where does this need for validation come? Because it's not, like, a horrible thing that we just need to fix. Like, it can come from, like, deep-rooted traumas, or, like, not getting enough care as a child or whatever, but it's not an excuse, do you know what I mean? It's something you have to unwind and figure out, well, why do I need this validation? Why do I put on this persona?
Yeah.
But yeah, so, like, to be able to unwind, go back, you can then, so say, like, you were let down, I don't know, by your parents growing up, like, instead of having that anger, it's just like, okay, what's done is done, forgive them, and then you, as this, like, adult version of yourself, you then go back and look after this version of yourself. If there's a day out where you're feeling down, look after yourself and let yourself chill at home and, like, really work on yourself and, like, cook a nice meal. You don't need to force yourself to, like, put on the mask again, go out on a night out, have probably a terrible time, and come home with negative energy. Be the adult in your life to sometimes just look after yourself. And I think that's the way you start to learn to love yourself, because you didn't need anyone else's help.
Exactly.
And you can like almost hug yourself and be like, I just looked after myself this weekend.
Yeah.
And you start to love that.
And I just think it's just, you're going to live a happier and more peaceful life if you live by truth. And that means in every sense, but like, especially by like truth of yourself, you know? It's more important to live in truth than to live in a world where like every single person you come across likes you.
Yeah, like delusion. Like, I just think the key thing is like no matter how many people can give you approval, at the end of the day you go home by yourself, you die alone, and if you're not content with yourself, then none of that mattered.
In the end, you're not going to look back and be like, oh, like some of these people, they didn't like me.
Yeah.
Because they thought I was annoying.
Like, and what?
But do you know what? Your true self, like maybe you are annoying, but maybe you're just someone that gets excited about like little things, and maybe they hate that. Do you know what I mean? It's all right if you're excited, like bubbly people. A lot of people, they don't like that. They're like quiet. If they don't like you, that's not personal.
Yeah.
I don't take that personal, but a lot of people, imagine, I'm trying to think, but I do think a lot of people, if someone went up to them, like imagine this person, their whole life as a child, they've always grown up just really excited, really bubbly, really happy. One person says to them, or they overhear someone say, oh, that girl's so annoying, she never shuts up, she's so excited, she's always laughing. That person may just never get excited again. They just be quiet, like, because validation matters so much to them. Why would you do that? Why would you give up that beautiful thing of like excitement, happiness, because one person said it's annoying? Don't dim down your light because others don't like it. You know,
100%. Also, like, why would, say you have this fake persona where like you're getting approval, but you're getting approval from the people that are not supposed to be in your life. So like maybe you're not religious, but this is a quote that I like saying, like, you tell God your plans and he laughs. Yeah. Because it's true. Like, you might have a perfect idea of like this group of friends, this partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, this family, these events. You have the perfect life planned out, and you're planning it and God is just gonna laugh in your face and just take it all away. Because if it doesn't truly align to you, it's out of your control. Unfortunately, he will get rid of it. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned is like things that I genuinely thought were me and did align with me, they got taken anyway. So I'm not going to waste any more time faking it, because I think I'm just going to lose more people or have more dramas and stuff. If I'm authentically myself, surely the only types of people I'll attract is other people that align with me and are meant to stay. And I think that's why people get in like a toxic cycle of like attracting the wrong boyfriend or girlfriends and getting horrible situations or horrible friendship groups, because they're not being themselves. So they're giving this front where like this toxic person might like that version of you, and they're drawn to you, but eventually when that starts to break down, this person isn't drawn to you anymore and you're not drawn to them because you clash.
At this point, I'd even be offended if a toxic person was like attracted to me.
But it's like, do I give off that aura? Like
it's scary to think, but that may involve for you, hopefully not, but it literally may involve a whole new friendship group. Unfortunately, like, these could have been people that you've been friends with since year 5, middle school. Like, for some people, that really could mean that. Like, I've met people that really have done that, but they're flourishing now.
Yeah, like, I do think, like...
And they'll probably be mad, you know, like, how can she just leave us like this? How can... Do you know what I mean? But just simply explain, like, I just don't feel myself around you guys anymore. It's not personal to you. It's personal to me.
Yes, literally.
It's me. It's my problem.
You've got to learn to put boundaries down. Like, you've got to figure out who you are. And once you figured out who you are, you need to like look at every single relationship in your life. Are they adding value to you? Do they align with you? And if not, you have to set the boundary and just be honest and separate yourself from it. You don't need them in your life. What? So you have an extra friend. So what, you've got...
But it's not even a friend.
Yeah, it's not even a friend.
You, so
what, you're not on bad terms with anyone. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't live your life that way, because all you'll do is keep attracting bad energy or the wrong energy, and it's gonna hold you back from flourishing as well. So I think that is key, is like this is a long process to truly learn to love yourself. But for me, it's like finding yourself and then setting boundaries and distancing yourself. That means you're kind of not shredding people out, but like one by one you end up having a smaller circle but a better circle, and then eventually it all whittles down to even just being alone. Like being content alone, which means that your full friends, your true friends, are extra bonuses, and you don't even expect validation from those great friends. They're just a great bonus.
Exactly.
Is on your journey of learning to love yourself, being alone and whatever, you're gonna have tests. I have tests all the time still. I'm not saying I've mastered any of this, but the test will kind of be, I think for validation as well, will kind of throw new friends or like new potential like lovers and stuff into your life, to kind of see how you react and how you change yourself or latch on to their words, if you know what I mean. And I think for me, like, that happens here and there, but I have to kind of really, if I'm in a low mood, I need to be able to spend more time by myself, because for me, like, if I'm in a low mood and then I like attach myself to people, friends and whatever, it's giving me that like temporary satisfaction where I'll start to think that I feel better when I'm with other people. And I need to kind of stress that you really need to reprogram your brain of, okay, I need to try and get better by myself. So you know that you don't rely on anyone. So then when you have mastered that, you can rely on other people, and that's fine. But if you're at a place where you know that you rely on everyone to feel better, you've got to get away from them, if that makes sense.
I want to give them the grace of like being around them without using them. To, like, you know,
like, get
feel
myself
better.
up.
Like, you're not using anyone. Like, that's not true friendship. Like,
you want to bring like good energy to the table. Like, everyone should be able to bring good energy to the table. Obviously, if you have a down day, that's fine. That's what friends are there for, to uplift you. But like, you should strive to be able to look after yourself and give yourself that love, so that you're not relying on other people. Because I think because I think another thing is, for me, like, I can admit that back in the day I used to get quite upset when people wouldn't give me the validation or like attention that I needed, because I was so low in it and like I needed it. So like when my friends were like busy, for example, like I take it so personally, I get so upset. Whereas now if my friends are not busy, it's like, oh, that's fine, I wanted to stay home anyway.
Like I'm in a face mask.
That shift is like, it's taking me a long time to get there, but I'm so happy that I feel like I can say I have. And that's the shift that I want to stress that you need to make, is like, when you're feeling low, like, not every single time do you need to be messaging people on social media, going out with people, going to events to do and meet and say things that isn't authentically you or helping you to feel good. The only person that's going to make you feel good is yourself. So what does that mean? You have to sit alone by yourself, and that's going to be so uncomfortable,
but you've got to do it.
But it's so necessary. And I think some people aren't ready to do that, and that's fine. Like, everyone learns at a different pace, so like, I don't want to stress everyone should be at this stage right now, but just like, this could be the little message to like sit back and think, how much do I rely on other people to make me feel good, and like, how can I change that? Like, obviously validation, the need for validation comes from so many different things, and like, some of it can be genuine trauma. Like, it's no one's fault that you feel like you need validation. You might not even notice you're doing it, type thing. Like, I definitely needed so much validation in like year 9. Like, looking back, it makes me feel sick and cringe. Like, I do anything just to get like a little bit of love, do you know what I mean? And being able to be at a point where I don't need that from anyone now, like, I have it within, makes me so proud of myself. And I can admit that. So like, I want to make sure that everyone feels that they can do the same. It can take hard work. Like, sometimes it takes therapy to unwind why do you need the validation, and then it takes like loving yourself, and who are you, what makes you authentically you,
and like,
without approval from anyone else.
And where do you feel most comfortable?
Get rid of the victim mindset. I think the whole, so you know how everyone's like, oh, no one cares about me, and like, you want the attention, you want the validation. The way I want to spin that is, no one cares. Like, it's a good thing. Like, no one cares. Like, do what you want. Like, it doesn't matter if someone likes you or someone doesn't, because you can do what you want to truly do. It doesn't matter what anyone else's opinion of it is. So switch it from like, no one cares about me, no one spoke to me, no one's checked up on me, to like, no one cares, I can do what I want.
You know that? No, literally, like, stop taking stuff personal. Like, seriously. Like, that's like my biggest tip in life. Stop taking things so personal. Your boyfriend's broken up with you, don't take it personally. Don't, the first thing you're looking at, why is it, what's wrong with me? Like, like, sometimes it's just not personal. Like, that shouldn't be your first thought. Maybe it's personal to someone else, you know what I mean? Like, your first thought shouldn't always be, oh, it's me. And your first thought also shouldn't be, what can I do to change this?
No.
Some people just don't like you, full stop. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Just not everyone in this world was designed to get along with everyone. Like, it's unfortunate, but
that's the thing. Like, obviously, if someone's doing something really wrong, speak up and call about
that's different.
But like, I think I have got to a point where it's like sometimes people aren't doing things maliciously. They're not horrible things. They're just things that don't align with me, and that is so okay. Like, or there'll be things that I do that don't align with them, and you're completely entitled to be like, look, you're not my person, and that is fine. And I'm not going to take it personally, because I think as well, make sure, like, I don't want people to walk around kind of cocky in the sense of like if you don't like me, that's your problem type thing. You need to make sure you're doing the hard work. Like, if you've got bad traits, you need to rip yourself apart and think, I need to like be the best version of myself, but not for others, for yourself, because it will naturally then benefit others as well. So make sure you're working on your flaws, and learning to love yourself will also mean looking at the deep dark corners of you and like having to go to places that you just really cringe and hate. You're gonna have to do that. Once you've done that work, I think you're entitled to then say like, okay, well, I love myself, I'm content with myself, these are the types of people I want to attract. And you're okay to do that then. I'm telling you now, like, you've got to get rid of this idea of comfortability and like scared of making new friends or scared of getting rid of old friends. For the sake of what? Like, you're gonna be miserable, I think. So like, you've got to take that leap of like, find out who you are and then be okay with attracting new people, getting rid of old people, saying no to things that you wouldn't choose to do if it wasn't for the sake of approval of others, if that makes sense.
And trust me, that change is going to upset people, I think. Like, and they're entitled to feel upset, because you know what, in a way, even though this is not your fault, and I don't want to make people feel guilty for it, because we've all done it, but in a way, you introducing yourself as this person that you never were was a bit of manipulation to make them like you. So of course, when they find out you were lying all this time, not lying, but putting on a front
that you weren't this person.
This is why I stress, like, I always say to everyone that's like wants to change up, like, tomorrow is not a continuation of today. If you want to wake up and be someone different the next day, you can do that. So from tomorrow, seriously, after watching this, you want to wake up and say, no more, I'm not going to lead a fake life. At least now, everyone you meet from now, you're going to be yourself. Do you know what I mean? You can't change the past.
Don't be like, don't be like, oh, well, now I've done it for this long, I might as well stick with it.
No. If you want to wake up tomorrow and say, right, the next person I meet, I'm going to make sure I'm myself, and if they don't like me, I'm going to say, at least I was myself.
Literally.
You know?
Like, you don't, I think that's the key of everything, like, with healing and just being a good person, is like, every bad habit, toxic trait, or whatever that you've done up to this point, you can change tomorrow if you want. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. As long as you are choosing to make yourself a better person and be better for yourself, I will rate anyone that changes up tomorrow. Do you know what
exactly.
I mean?
That's what I mean. Like,
so as long as you're making yourself happy, you go home every day, you don't need to talk to anyone to feel content. You don't need to be out to feel content. If you're genuinely happy, then that is fine, and the people around you will like that, rate it, and follow you. Because the people you have right now that maybe like the fake person of you could drop tomorrow, could move away, could hate you, could switch up because they're not proper friends. Do you know what I mean? So don't put all this, like, people put so much energy into boys and girls and fake friends. Why can you not put the same energy into yourself? Why can you not, like, you have the capacity to put the energy in where you're like, okay, let me get rid of my phone, let me not go out for a few weekends, let me not talk to X, Y, Z. You have the energy to do that because you put it into all these other things, and I've done it. So everyone's capable of doing it, it's just if you want to, I guess. And not everyone's ready or wants to do it. But I do promise you, it'll make you a happier person once you do make that jump.
It's so worth it.
But yes, thank you very much. It's Jacy. And I feel like this will be it for a while. You go back soon, don't you? But no, I want to do more car videos of other people and also just kind of myself. But I thought I'd get someone else to share some insight. I always feel like Jacy has more to say anyway. So
if I was real slow, and I'm just so tired.
It's late today, to be fair.
I was just kind of at work every day, all day this week.
But yes.